What is up YouTube, Johnny B here again today, and I'm going to be bringing you a video on another IS300. I don't know how much you guys love seeing more IS300s on the channel, and I love buying them. So this is a recent purchase that I bought. It's a 2004 IS300 with 160,000 miles. It's kind of nice. It needs some work here and there. I'm going to need to paint, and I'm going to need to replace the seats and stuff like that. So I've been, acquiring parts over the time that I've had it. I haven't really paid much attention to it. It's been sitting in the corner of the lot probably for like 2-3 months, maybe 4 months. As I was doing other projects, as I was getting a Tacoma ready, a little white Tacoma, another black Tacoma that I was also working on, and just various other projects that we have around the shop here for the dealership. And now it's time to start working on this one because I finished up with my other projects, and this is going to be one that's going to be for sale. It is I think the paint code is 1CO. It's like a silver that kind of gives you like a hint of gold as well with it, so it's kind of interesting. It's got the chrome wheels on it and the black leather interior, so it's a very similar spec to my first black one. Just this is a different color obviously, but one of the issues with the all leather ones is that the seats tend to rip, and this one has both the front driver and the front passenger seat that are tore up, so those are going to need to be replaced. And this fender seems to have a little bit of a wrinkle right there. I think I'm just going to replace it instead of having to body work it. It's cheaper enough. If it's cheap enough to just buy another one, why waste my time on doing a lot of body work? Unless it's the original fender, I might keep it, but if it's not, I'm just going to replace it, which I doubt it is because this car is a salvage title. I think it's a rebuilt title now, so a few things here and there. The headlights are a little bit messed up. The tires might need to be replaced. They're kind of old. The main thing that was wrong with this car, so the front is fine, bumpers and everything's on there. The main issue with this car was that the rear bumper, I'll show you guys here, it was in the back. So as you can see, insurance companies like to mark everything. There's a little bit of a crack right there in the light. They say there's a gap here when you try to close it. Obviously there's a gap because the trunk is not latching, because the actual back piece is nowhere near where the trunk would latch. The quarter panel is undamaged, but it is rubbing right here, so I'm guessing the N is supposed to be a G. No, actually this spell right, rubbing, just our G looks like an S for some reason. And the line's not that far off, so when we do go ahead and pull out this back part, that should separate the door, and then we should be good. The airbags were intact. The car still runs, drives, and does everything like it should. And we'll take a look at this side. Quarter panel is also perfect, just a bit dirty. And this side, the door is actually not rubbing. It's got good tires all around. The car's AC works and everything. So we're going to be using a porta power to go ahead and push this out. You can see all the X's where they like to mark everything. And we're going to try to get these tail lights to line up properly. They're a little bit off. You can see I lined up the bolt hole with the tail light, just zip tied it for now, and the bottom one seems to line up well as well. And if we look at the passenger side one, that one's a little bit separated. There's some gappage there, and then here this one also lined up, and I threw a zip tie through it just to drive it down and connected them. Here you can see how it's not fully on, mainly because I'm having a little bit of issues with it not reaching in that section. So we're gonna go ahead and push this out. I went ahead and removed the spare. Looks like we have a good leverage point from there to this back piece. So let's straighten us all out. But first I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tail lights. Here is the porta power. As you can see, I put a piece of wood on that back section so we wouldn't bend it, and then I put the big flat piece that's gonna help push this out. And we got this bulge to come out, and if you can see here, there's no longer a gap between the body and the tail light. Obviously the tail light can be moved around. You can see there, hole lines up perfectly. Over here on the side, the tail light is lining up perfectly with the body. The gap, it used to have a big gap in it right here. You can kind of stick your finger through there. Now it's flanned out. Just gotta hammer it a little bit down here so it goes down. and straightens out. And the door where you used to say rubbing is no longer rubbing. Closes nice and smooth. So there we are, got that out. Just gotta make sure it stays in its place. So I might have to force it a little bit further out. That way when it goes back, it'll go back into its original spot. So this car was just either at a stoplight or somewhere and someone just rammed it back. So this section here was kind of smashed in. I kind of pulled it back out. I adjusted, you know, the quarter panels with the tailgate or the trunk. And now the trunk's fitting on good, and the trunk, nothing happened to it. So I literally just need to get a crash beam and a rear bumper for it, and it's not too bad. So it looks decent. There are some, you know, issues with paint, you know, for an older car like this. There are going to be some issues because it's like 15 years old now. But you can see the roof there. I know how to paint, and since I know how to paint, I'm just going to fix all the little blemishes that it has here and there. I got some bumpers right over here. Got 2 of them actually. I'm gonna see which one I want to put on and paint the front bumper as well, because the bumper has some scratches on it. And then I gotta paint the roof, the fender, possibly the other fender, just so the whole front end looks really good. Oh, let me show you guys the interior. So here is the interior. It's got the sport design mats on both sides, and then look at that. That seat is all tore up right there. The back part is not so bad. It's always this part, and on this side as well. This leather is like super hard, and which is why they tend to like crack like that. Look at that. I think I just cracked it more. Look at that. Ugh. Very nasty. The reason I say it was a rebuilt title before was because it looks like the airbags did deploy on this one. You can see there. But luckily I got a whole nother dash. And then I think this one needs to be replaced as well, because they like tried fixing them or something weird. So that's gonna definitely need to be replaced. The door panels are actually really gorgeous. Like, this isn't all worn out and stuff. And the sound system works good. The engine works perfectly good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap out the seats. I'm gonna show you guys all the parts I bought for this thing. Here, these are the back seats. They're actually the suede insert with the leather. They're really nice. They're a little dirty, but I have to clean them up. And then I just got a bunch of like miscellaneous parts that just came with it. Stereo, I'm probably gonna put on the stereo, some fog lights, headlights. I got a whole complete dash, and it's got the airbag right there. So I'm probably just gonna swap out that airbag, and then I'm gonna have an airbag from another project, and I'll probably fix all the airbag situation. And inside the Tacoma, I have some headlights. They're actually pretty nice. Look at that headlight there. These are OEM headlights, and they come with the HID ballast and everything in them. So they're complete headlights. And you know, with that being said, I also have the front seats over there that I can show you guys. I'm gonna take these with me so we can throw them in. So here are the front seats. They're not ripped at all. Gave them a little bit of a cleaning, but they still need a little bit more. So there's the leather and suede seats, complete with everything. So that's gonna be, there goes another project. That's gonna be what's going in here, so that the seats aren't looking all tore up. And the interior, pretty much that's all it needs. It just needs the 2 front seats, but might as well match with the rears. So the car looks very nice. So I'm gonna swap out the interior for today, because I want it to be drivable, and I want the interior to be ready before I have to worry about any of the exterior paint and all that other stuff, and stuff that's missing here and there. Well, I didn't get to show you guys the front. I think the grill's broken, and then this headlight has like dirt in it, and it's like all faded. Oh, and then this is why I need to repaint the bumper. It looks like it must have been repainted at one point, and someone didn't do a good job. And I might even repaint the hood, because there's like some damages here from rock chips. So I might just repaint the hood as I paint the fenders and stuff. Like, pretty much paint the whole front end, the roof, and the rear bumper, because everything else seems to be pretty nice. So now that I got the seats out, went ahead and gave it a good cleaning all around. Just kind of like vacuum, since normally it's dirty under here. You want to make sure that you vacuum them before you put the seats. So it's looking pretty good in here. Obviously got a bunch of the tools and stuff that I used to remove the seats. Now I can go ahead and put the seats on. I need to remove all the front parts. As you can see, I already started removing some of them. The headlights are really bad. One of them has clear coat and it's like peeling off, and then the other one, they forgot to put the rear cover and it started getting a bunch of dirt inside of it, so it looks really nasty and dirty, so we're gonna need to get new headlights for that. This fender, I'm debating whether I should fix it or just swap it with the one that I bought for 50 bucks. So it's a black fender, it's not the same color. Obviously I'm gonna need to paint it. I'm gonna need to paint this one if I body work it as well. So I'm just debating to see what I want to do with that. Also the bumpers over there, that needs to be painted. There's like some chunks missing, so started removing all that stuff and just pretty much get everything prepped so we can paint it and hopefully get this car done pretty soon so I can be driving another IS daily once my daily that I currently have goes bye-bye when someone just buys it. So let's continue. Sansi just recently contacted us and they wanted us to test out one of their LED light replacements. So normally where your light bulbs go, you can replace it with a full LED piece. And as you guys know, I'm always working late at night. As it is right now, it's dark outside and you need light. And the only thing I'm using right now is just like a little regular floor light, which is not enough, especially when I'm painting. So they contacted us, they sent us over this little LED light. So literally hooks up like a regular bulb and it's got a bunch of LEDs. So what I did is I wired up something to the top of the tent and we're gonna go ahead and test it out. So I went ahead and turned off my little snap-on LED light and bam, look at that. Super bright, it's lighting up this whole area here, and actually I can see a lot clearer. So you guys are looking to upgrade your garage with some new lights, you know, this is probably the best way to go. Instead of buying some expensive LED lights, you can literally just buy these LEDs and screw them in where your regular bulbs go, and bam, you have some super bright LEDs that just light up the garage. Because when you're working, especially at night like I do, you really need to see what you're doing or else it gets a little frustrating. So if you guys are looking to get something like this, there's going to be a link down in the description below. And without further ado, let's just get on with the video. So here we are in the paint booth with the silver IS300 that I bought a while back. It's been a couple months. I just haven't had time to work on it. There's been a ton of cars that have gone through here and that have been my daily drivers. And this car was one of the ones that I bought when I bought the IS350, and that one's gone. It's been gone for like 5 months already. And this car just has been on the back burner because I've been getting other cars that are a lot easier to fix, that I could just fix up real quick and then drive around. Whereas this one, it needed a little bit more work because the roof was faded. It needed the rear bumper, it needed the rear area right here to get pulled out because the trunk was not closing. And the front bumper needed to be painted because it looks like someone had painted it before and didn't do a good job, so the paint was peeling off. So I had to go ahead and get that settled down. And just a bunch of like little details in the car that I just wanted it to look good, so I'm just gonna go ahead and paint it all, except for the trunk. The trunk is actually in perfect condition, so I want to leave that with its original paint. That way I don't have to remove all the emblems and stuff like that. But the wing on the actual trunk needs to be painted because that thing was faded, and I want to do that. So let me just show you guys around all the work that I've done, and we're gonna go ahead and paint it today. So it looks good, and then after that, putting it back together. So here's how the car is looking right now. Tail lights are off because the tail lights were actually cracked from the little hit that it suffered in the back, but everything else is looking good. Got everything sanded down, masked up, everything that's not going to be painted. I don't have any of the lights in the front bumper either because I had the bumper off, so I'll put those on later on. And then the hood didn't really need paint, but it had a lot of rock chips, so I went ahead and fixed all the rock chips that were along all this area and some like random ones that were spread throughout the hood. So I wanted to get that done. Oh, and then one thing was that this fender over here needed a little bit of body work. It was a little wrinkled right there in that section, so I went ahead and body worked it out, and we got the shape actually of it pretty nice and straight, so I'm happy with that. I actually did the masking of this last night. It takes quite a bit. And then the interior, you can tell it was an all leather car because it has these leather, but the seats are the suede all the way around. It's a little dark in here because we don't have any windows right now, but yeah, it's looking good. It's a 2004 with 160,000 miles. I love these cars, so I will always have one, and even after they sell, I keep buying more. So this car will be painted it in its original color. It's like a silver that kind of gets like a greenish tint. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. It's an interesting color, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this all painted up today. So here we are with some paint on it already. I added a clear coat to it. It only has the second coat. I still gotta add the third coat to it, so it's not as shiny as it needs to be. There's a little bit of it's a bit windy outside, but it's not too bad. Here's the front. You guys can see that. So we laid down the paint, some clear coat. It actually already looks nice with the second coat, but this last one is gonna be that's open, in case you guys are wondering, so I can get everything painted. This last coat is gonna be the heavy coat, so this is the coat that's really gonna add the shine to the car. But so far it's looking good. To how it was to how it's gonna be now, with all those rock chips and like paint falling off the front bumper, a little bit of damage on the fender right there, just, you know, some scratches here and there, and the roof being completely faded. It's gonna end up looking really nice with its fresh paint job. So I'm excited. Now that I've been waiting for it to dry a little bit, because it's super cold out right now, so I need it to dry a little bit. I think I gave it like 10 minutes just to dry, so when I add this last coat that I'm gonna add, it won't make I guess we can say the clear coat won't get runny. So if this isn't tacky yet, then there's a big chance that if I add like a nice heavy coat, it's gonna start running, and that's something that you don't want, because that's like the biggest pain in the butt to fix. So time to get started. I've waited 10 minutes already. I'm gonna add the last coat, and then I'll show you guys the difference, even though it looks really shiny right now. So here is another day, and the IS is looking good. Got it all painted up. Still removing some of the masking that we did, and one of the things that I did was not paint the trunk, but the color came out pretty close. I didn't feel like having to remove all the emblems and stuff, and the trunk was actually in perfect condition except for the wing and this little piece right here. That was pretty bad, but now the paint's all dry, so I can go ahead and touch it. Feels nice and smooth, nice and shiny. Roof is looking good. Just gotta finish taking off all the masking. I took off most of the masking where it was touching with the paint, because you don't want to peel it off later and it peels off with the paint. But it's looking good. I'm excited to start putting it back together. So I gotta do the grill, headlights, and fog lights here, and then you have the little parking lights or little lights that they have on the side. But overall, I'm happy with it. Car looks good, looks shiny, and that's what matters most for new customers. So now that I got most of the masking off, at least I did this back section, I'm gonna go ahead and put the tail lights on to see how it looks now, because I haven't really gotten a good look with the bumper on and the tail lights. And I actually have 2 sets here. 2 of them are the originals. So they were this one. Looks like it had a little crack right there, some water got in. And this is one of the good ones here. So that means that one of these is the bad one, so here's the other good one. Probably gonna throw those on and see how the car looks, and put this back end together, because I have this plastic taken off and a bunch of other stuff. at the tire shop. We needed new tires on it because the ones that I had on there were pretty dry rotted. I got some 2017 BRZ wheels. It was one of the wheels with tires. So I'm putting those tires onto this because I figured I'd buy those a lot cheaper than buying tires, and they're almost new Michelins. So this thing's gonna be running on the same size tire, but a Michelin and pretty decent tread on them. So this should make the car look a lot nicer and also safer to drive as a daily. And just like that, the IS300 is gone from my life, but I will get another one. You guys know me. You guys know how much I love these IS300s, and I love sharing them with everybody. I love giving people the opportunity to test them out. This was his first car. He didn't know what car he wanted. They just had a budget, and the IS300 met the budget, and it gave him all the luxuries, you know, the leather suede seats, the sunroof, the nice, you know, 2JZ engine. It just you know, hit all the check marks. And obviously the car was looking so good after the new paint job. So, you know, getting a nice clean car that you know is going to be reliable, that's luxurious for the same price, for like around $4,000, can't beat that. You know, another thing you can get for $4,000 is not going to be as nice. Obviously it might have a little bit less mileage and stuff like that, but you know, at the end of the day, Lexus is a very recognized brand, very reliable, and everybody loves luxury. Everybody loves to have, you know, the nicer things in life. So yep, he's gonna enjoy it, and he's been looking into it now, and he's pretty excited about his IS300, because even when I first got my first black one, I did not know what I was getting into until I drove it, and it's just an amazing car. The way it drives, the way it handles, the way it's so comfortable as a daily driver is amazing. So I know he's gonna enjoy it just as much as I enjoy them. So I keep buying them so I can keep sharing them with everybody. So until next time, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, you have a great day.